Steve Almond writes in the New York Times, "Liberals are ruining America. I know because I am one." And he goes on to talk about how he quit his job as an adjunct professor at Boston College to protest the selection of Condi Rice as commencement speaker. He got offers to speak on right-wing television. He went on to Hannity and Combs. He sort of gotten a couple of good knocks, but he says now he sort of thinks it was all not worth it. He said, "This is the tragic flaw of the modern liberal. We choose to see ourselves as innocent victims of an escalating right-wing fanaticism. But too often we serve as willing accomplices to this escalation." He goes on to say it's wrong for people, for liberals and liberal outlets to watchdog and to criticize what the right wing is saying. Now, I don't spend as much time on my program on the Majority Report at majority.fm, sort of tracking the stupid things that O'Reilly says or Limbaugh says or any of the right-wing pundits say. I do it a little bit, but not much. But that's simply because it's being done. I have other fish to fry. And sometimes I'll highlight something absolutely stupid that a right-winger says, who's a politician, say. But the notion that somehow we escalate the voices of Limbaugh or whoever it is and make media stars out of them and actually create more of a problem by exposing what they're saying and allowing that to feed into the mainstream press is absolutely wrong, completely unsupported by any data or anecdote. I know this because up until about 2003, we had nothing. There was no Media Matters. There was no left-wing talk radio. There was no liberals on television who had their own show. None. None. Zero. Zilch. Nada. And if you don't think that guys like Limbaugh et al. Had any influence, take a look at the impeachment proceedings in '94. Take a look what was swimming around there, the fact that the Clintons were considered murderers. Take a look at how so much of what perked up on the right, go read David Brock's book. All that right-wing media just put all sorts of whitewater, all that crap got into the mainstream media from there. And they were just ramping up their enterprise. It is absurd. It is absurd empirically to suggest that the reason why right-wing memes get into the national discourse is because of they're being watchdogged. No, that's ridiculous. Are there some liberal media outlets that spend too much of their time doing this because they know it's a ratings boon? I mean, look, I got news for you. Anytime I put something stupid by a conservative on YouTube, we get hits. Far more hits than any policy conversation or whatnot. And we do a lot of policy on this show. Are there shows that rely on that stuff too much for my taste? Yes. Is it a waste of real estate sometimes? Yes. But the idea that on balance, that if we didn't pay attention to this, it would just sort of go away and be meaningless is ludicrous. This is what we heard over and over again in the 90s. How do you think it was so easy to roll into war? Because there was no liberal voices on television. Because these memes that were starting in the right-wing press were unchallenged. And there was a relentless drumbeat coming from Fox. Relentless. That spread to other, I mean, just tell Shirley Sherrod that it doesn't matter what Glenn Beck says. Tell Acorn that it doesn't matter what some right-winger's saying in some far-off universe. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And the only way that you fight this stuff is by exposing it and showing how stupid it is. It's the only way. You cannot ignore it. It will not go away. You're in la-la land. You're in la-la land if you think that's the case. You know, I heard so much of this before. If we unilaterally disarm, it's not even disarm. If we just ignore them, they'll go away. No. No, if we ignore them, they'll continue to grow exponentially.